Welcome to another video. I am the Starman and I've got a first impressions lens review for you in this video. I recently purchased this lens here. It's a Nikon 20mm f1.8 lens, and I bought it because I've been stuck with 24mm for the last 2 years. Since I wrote off my 14 to 24mm, my beloved 14 to 24mm f2.8 lens, I have been stuck with my 24 to 70. And when I was down south recently, when I did my little astro trip down south to Devon recently, I stumbled upon a shop called Mifsuds in Brixham. It was a chance encounter, and they happened to have one of these, a 20mm f1.8, and as soon as I saw it I wanted to buy it. Now the reason I bought it was because it was relatively cheap. It was £600 second hand, and 20mm doesn't sound a whole lot wider than 24, but it is. 4mm does make quite a difference at the wide end. But not only that, this has an aperture, a wide aperture of f1.8, and that means that this is more than a stop faster than my 24 to 70mm lens. So that's going to make a massive difference. That means that I can get away with taking pictures, long exposure pictures at night, using half the ISO that I was using if I was using my 24 to 70mm, and that's why I bought this lens. It's wider and faster, and I've also got a sample shot that I can show you later on in the video. So anyway, for now, let's take a closer look at the 20mm f1.8. Okay, so this is what I got here, and I'll just show you the box here, and I'll just read out the lens here. It's AFS Nikon 20mm f1.8G ED. Anyway, that's the box. I've also got a case as well. There you are. You always get a nice case with them. Just put that out of the way. And we've also got this lens hood as well. So I'll put the lens hood on. It's always worth putting the lens hood on, you know, because the thing is, it can protect your lens. You know, if you knock it against something, if you you know, or if you drop it even, you know, I mean, the lens hood can actually stop your lens from breaking. So anyway, the first thing that I notice about this lens is that it's so light compared to my 24 to 70 that I've been using over the last couple of years, and certainly it's a lot lighter than the 14 to 24mm lens that I used to have. But like I say, this is not a replacement for that lens. It's not a replacement. But I think that I'm really going to like this lens because it is significantly wider than 24mm, and also we've got that very fast f1.8 aperture, which will allow me to use either half the exposure time or half the ISO. I'll probably use half the ISO, I think. But anyway, like I say, it is really light. And I'll just take the hood off again and show you. It's also got a 77mm filter thread. So this filter thread here is 77mm, which is great because all my other lenses, nearly all my other lenses, have the same filter thread as 77mm. So I can use filters. I can use my Lee filter system on this lens, just like all my other ones. I couldn't do that with the 14 to 24 because it was too big. It had a massive bulbous lens, and you had to get a special filter kit for it, which was really expensive, and I didn't want to do that. Auto and manual focus, which you can just easily switch if you wanted to switch between the two modes. Like I say, it's a whole lot lighter. There are so many advantages to this lens over my 24 to 70 f2.8. You know, so you've got the fast aperture, I've got the extra width, that extra wide angle, and I've also got the lightness as well. It's so light, this lens. It's really good. I can't wait to get out there and use it. Just have a little look here. There you can see there in the back. Here we are. Now I do have a couple of sample images which I want to show you, which I took down in Durdle Door when I was in Dorset recently. I'm just going to show you a photograph now that I took using my 24mm f2.8. Just about see the Milky Way there coming out there over the famous Durdle Door, looking out over the English Channel there. Not a bad picture. I made a video there as well, and I haven't managed to get around to editing that video, but you can see there it's not a bad picture really. But now I'm going to show you what I took with this lens right here now, and I think you can see straight away that there's quite a big difference in the field of view straight away. I've taken this picture here shooting at f1.8, the widest it would go on the 20mm. You might notice that there's a little bit of vignetting, you know, it's brighter in the middle than it is at the corners, but yeah, so the vignetting is fairly pronounced on this lens. But I think the biggest thing that jumps out at you is how much wider it is than the 24mm, and I think that's something that I'm going to really want to take advantage of, as well as having the faster aperture. So there you go, that did make quite a difference, didn't it, using this lens over the 24mm. Those 4mm do make quite a big difference at this end of the range. So there you go, that was my first look at the Nikon 20mm f1.8 G lens. It's a whole stop faster than the 24-70, which I've been using for the past 2 years, and it's also 4mm wider. Not a whole lot wider, but the 4mm do make quite a difference at the wide angle. And I think I'm going to really look forward to using this lens, and I'm definitely going to do another review of it and show you some more sample pictures as I go along. Anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and tick the bell for notifications of new videos, and I will see you again next time.